Back to the deep state drama at the FBI. I want to ask the following question of someone who knows the answer, and that is this. Is the FBI probe of leading politicians totally and hopelessly politicized? Come on in, please. James Kallstrom, former FBI Assistant Director. He's always had something to say about this. What do you got to say about it now?
Well, you know, Stuart, for over a year and a half, I think, we've been talking about this sort of reverse crescendo. We started off with Jim Comey and all his crazy actions that I thought were outside the main of how the FBI should operate. And now we come to this, you know, this focus on, you know, the fifth estate that I've talked about, you know, that includes multiplicities of people. Well, now we know it also includes a bunch of sycophants in the FBI, you know, that were part of the Comey team, apparently, and people in justice also, that I believe have expulsion now for obstruction of justice. I mean, people, people tweet each other and they send text messages, but they don't plan. The FBI is not in the business of planning to destroy a president of the United States. I mean, and it's clear to me that that's what they were. I think they were. I think they were trying. I think they were way above their capability. You know, this guy thinks he's the Lone Ranger, this Peter Strzok. He's going to float in here, and if by any chance Trump gets elected, which is a catastrophe in his mind, I mean, I don't know what his mind is thinking. Obama basically destroyed the country. Now you have a guy that wants to fix it, okay? But anyway, if that's his thinking, you know, and they were obviously, from the words that we saw, they're in Andy's office plotting some kind of thing. And I think that some kind of thing is what we're seeing right now. And we've seen for the last, ever since he's been elected, we've seen this facade and this phony challenge to Trump about collusion in Russia, which nothing could be further from the truth. All the collusions with the Democrats. And it's very, very depressing to the FBI. Well, the FBI agents, I mean, 99%, exactly. 0.9 hard-working, patriotic guys that come to work and girls that come to work, you know, for the good of the country. And you've got this cabal of people. You know, you've got this deputy director who should have been out a long time ago for his actions. And then you got Peter Strzok and who knows how many others. You know, and you got Comey with all the phony stuff that he did. And, you know, but I think finally we're going to get to the end of this. But the big mystery here is the Justice Department. What is the Justice Department doing? What is the Attorney General of the United States doing? You know, it's too bad for Donald Trump, who's I've known for a long, long time. And with all his little things that he does that people don't like, his policies are what's going to bring the United States back, globally, in my view. Yet, you know, you have this huge storm of people that are just putting roadblock after roadblock. It's a mystery to me why he hasn't called over to the Attorney General and told the Attorney General, give the oversight committees the documents they're looking for. Why is the Trump Justice Department not complying with subpoenas from the Justice Department that want to look into this thing?
Yeah. Now, I want to summarize this. I want to be very clear about it. I have said, in my opinion, and it is an opinion, there is a cabal active within the FBI and the Justice Department, which hates Trump, which protected Hillary Clinton and tried to bring down Donald Trump. And that is an extraordinary story of interference in an American presidential election.
It is.
And you're agreeing with me on this?
Oh, yeah, and we've been talking about this in different
yeah, but now it's out in the open. Now we're saying
without question, that's what it was. Yeah, just like the whole so-called Clinton investigation was phony from the beginning. We've talked about that. No grand jury, giving witnesses immunity, putting all the subjects in one room at the same time. I mean, it's crazy. I mean, it's nuts what they did.
Look, James, I'm coming up on a hard break, but I want to ask this question. You've got 20 seconds. What's morale like in the FBI now?
It's not good, but I think recent events that I'm aware of are going to improve that, because there's going to be actually something is going to happen, in my view.
Oh, are you going to leave us on that? Oh, James, you've got to come back.
Yes. Well, I think there's a lot of patriots that have just had it up to here with what's going on, and they're going to step forward and tell people what the shenanigans have been, how they shut down the Clinton Foundation investigation, how other things, you know, were done that are so anti what the FBI and the United States and this country's about.
We want to hear it, James Kallstrom. We want to hear it here. That's a fact. James, thank you very much indeed. Merry Christmas to you, young man.
Merry Christmas.
Good to see you, sir.
Merry Christmas.
Thank you.